So I want to talk about the mass media and their role in influencing the public. In today's day and age, we are faced with the everyday threat that mass media is going to cause groupthink in our society. And it's dangerous because it takes away everyone's freedom to form their own opinion, right? I mean, we are basically, we get our information from these news outlets, media conglomerates such as CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, any of those. Those are our sources for immediate news and for immediate information. And so if media outlets are biased and only want to push their agenda, then that endangers the public because we are no longer able to get unbiased information quickly. Now, many people, because of this, have turned to smaller news outlets in search of actual facts, not just opinions that are pushed through the system by mass media. But a lot of the main large media conglomerates are what we see on TV. A lot of the main headlines that come across our phones, even Apple News, unfortunately, are tainted with bias. And I just want to reiterate how dangerous that is to the public, as it leads to groupthink and a lack of individualized thought and opinion. So I want to make the bold claim right away that the mass media has become the enemy of the people. And a lot of people don't like this. A lot of people hear this and they instantly want to criticize, right? But unfortunately, media, because of the hold that they have in society today, have the power to establish rules, establish norms, and ultimately establish the pop culture, or what is up and trending in today's society. So the mass media inundates us with messages about norms and expectations. Think about anything, even just think about how we're supposed to act in society, right? If somebody goes against the grain, say a public figure, a celebrity, if they act against what mass media or the general public deem as the norm, or if someone breaks the rules that media has created, if anyone goes against the culture in some sort of counterculture that is seen as unfavorable, they are ridiculed, and the mass media can basically just completely defile them, slander them, and actually get away with it because nobody knows any different. The media can post pretty much whatever they want about anyone, release any kind of headlines, news articles, anything like that, attacking someone, attacking a important public figure, a celebrity, a singer, songwriter, artist, whatever, whoever it might be. And the public basically just buys into it because we see the mass media as this high power institution with authority, and we view authority as well, they must know more than us, right? They're in a position of authority, so we're just going to listen to whatever they say. What they say goes, right? So we view authority and the power that mass media has as they must always be right. And so whatever they feed us, we believe. That's sad. Like I said before, it's dangerous. So pop culture is sent from the media to the public. And oftentimes what they'll do is they'll use a celebrity or person, as I mentioned before, of high authority to back this, right? So whatever's trending, social media, fashion, music, popular activities, anything like this that is part of the popular culture, or what celebrities or notable people, people of great reputation, whatever they are doing, basically, this is the popular culture. And so social media is going to shove that down our throats too. And so we see it come across our phone. I mentioned before Apple News too. They love to show us the latest trends. So we see it come across our phones, our TVs, anything like that, and we just absorb it. And what they deem to be popular culture, or new and trending, we just accept, and we don't really think for ourselves. We don't necessarily take the time to think about the consequences or the moral objections to whatever this popular culture may be. We just want to be with the up and now. We want to do what that popular celebrity is doing. We want to do what that actor is doing, or we want to have the same opinion as this politician, because the media says that it's right. Mass media has become so biased that getting real news, as I mentioned before, has become almost impossible. So they influence not only pop culture, trends, rules, all of that, but topical opinions, social opinions, and most importantly and relevant nowadays is political opinions. A trial, a case, an election, anything like that, whatever the media believes to be right, they're going to publish that. That is what we're going to see. And unfortunately for majority of Americans, they don't seek out facts and information for themselves, so that's what they're going to believe. So their opinions on topical matters, social matters, and political matters are going to be directly influenced by mass media. Today, December 9th, 2021, I Googled on CNN. I just looked up articles from today, and two popped up. The first one was titled, "Biden and Congressional Leaders Honor the Late Senator Bob Dole at U.S. Capitol." Now, this is harmless, right? It's just a fact. Well, it sheds a good light on Joe Biden, our current president. And that's fine. I mean, a media outlet they have the right to say whatever they want. They have the right to report whatever they want. They make the choice here to show Joe Biden in a respectful, good manner. Now, the second article is titled, "The 28 Most Ridiculous Lines from Donald Trump's Interview with Hugh Hewitt." Now, I'm not going to share my opinion about politics. I'm not going to be biased in this podcast. But what I will say is that these were the first two articles to pop up. And the first one took our current president and made him seem respectable, normal by our standards, and sheds good light upon him. The second article, immediately after this one, aims to pretty much ridicule Donald Trump for nothing. I mean, if we're even just being unbiased, if we're looking at this from an impartial perspective, he had an interview with Hugh Hewitt. Why is it important to note 28 ridiculous things that he said? This is just a small representation of, here this is CNN, so it is a small representation of CNN's greater daily agenda to push through their belief systems, because when the public reads this, they're going to see Joe Biden as good, Donald Trump as a clown. Okay? Now I understand that this is one scenario, but there have been countless more, as I think anybody in our country would be aware of. And again, this is just a small representation of the greater daily agenda. Unfortunately, news articles like this leave no room for personal choice. It basically states what they believe to be the truth immediately in the title. So anyone that looks at it isn't going to get the facts. They're just going to get the general idea of what the media outlet is trying to get across to the public. I mentioned before that because of this, many people are turning to smaller news outlets, which I think is a fantastic idea, and factual websites for main news sources, because they're not going to give you biased headlines like this. No matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, you can look at this and say pretty clearly that it is biased. Another example, most recently, is in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. So again, on CNN, I looked up articles about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, and so this goes all the way back to August 27th, 2020. There was an article published titled "Kenosha Shooting Suspect Faces More Homicide Charges." The intent of this headline is to paint Rittenhouse as a criminal without any facts, without any evidence, before a trial has even begun to be put together. And this is what the public is going to see. So before a trial has even started, they're going to see that a Kenosha shooting suspect faces homicide charges. So instantly, Kyle Rittenhouse is a shooter who committed homicide. That's what they're going to see. And we now know that clearly and obviously in court, he was proved innocent. So here's a mass media outlet that is putting forth unfactual information to push their agenda, to force groupthink in the public, and to really, in the grander scheme, develop norms, develop pop culture, and influence the opinions of the public the way that they want. And so 2 more articles on this topic, published November 3rd, 2021, titled "FBI Aerial Surveillance Video Shows Never Before Seen Action Before Kyle Rittenhouse Shot Unarmed Man." So what the public sees in this headline is Kyle Rittenhouse shot unarmed man. Once again, paints him as a criminal before the trial even concluded. Which I said before, as we all know, when the trial concluded, Kyle Rittenhouse was proved innocent beyond reasonable doubt. Article number 3, November 11th, 2021. This article tried to undermine the credibility of the judge presiding over the trial, because in this instance, the news outlet that I am getting this information from is CNN. So CNN saw the trial going the way they didn't want it to, going in a way that didn't align with their previous agenda. So what do? They try to undermine the credibility of the judge that's presiding over the trial. The article is titled, "Judge in Kyle Rittenhouse Trial Makes Inappropriate Asian Food Joke," as if this has any sort of relevance over what happened on that night in Kenosha. Inappropriate Asian food joke. I mean, like seriously, people. I think that anybody with an impartial, unbiased, intelligent mind is going to look at this and go, something's not right here. This doesn't make any sense. Why would they ever publish this so-called news that is not news? It is biased opinion that is forced to the public so that when they see it, it influences their opinion. The last topic that I want to touch on here is cancel culture, which has poisoned our society. Cancel culture is basically anyone that acts or speaks against the norms that mass media has instilled into society is canceled. In other words, having a different opinion or belief than the dominant group in charge of society will lead to the permanent destruction of their reputation and career. No second chances. This is permanent cancelization. Okay, take a hypothetical singer-songwriter who uses a hypothetical distasteful word in a conversation, and this is found out and it's deemed as wrong, which it is wrong, and hypothetically say that 100% of society agrees that what he did was wrong. Well, I think most of society would also agree that they've done wrong things in life and they have been given second chances. But cancel culture doesn't agree with that. Cancel culture seeks to completely slander, defame, and bring this man's career down, leaving him with nothing, which is incredibly unfair because everybody makes mistakes, everybody deserves a second chance. So I want to pose a few questions for audience consideration before I end this. The first being, is cancel culture something you can get behind? And think about it from an unbiased perspective, cancel culture. So what is cancel culture? I gave the definition of it before, I'll give it again. Cancel culture is when anyone that acts or speaks against the norms the mass media has instilled in society is canceled. So in other words, if anyone goes against the grain, goes against the rules or norms of society, their career and their reputation are destroyed with no second chances. That's just